Hi class! Well, I am going to be your instructor for this first semester of school year 2021-2022. And since most of you are freshmen, I would have to introduce myself a bit. But before I do that, let me welcome you to your respective health allied courses at Pines City Colleges. Thank you for having the courage to study a medical or health allied program. As early as now, I hope you would enjoy and learn a lot from your academic adventures. I also hope that you would be able to finish your program successfully, especially now that the Philippines and the rest of the world are badly in need of medical professionals. Anyway, back to my introduction. I am Cherry Kawis, for those who do not know my name yet. And this is my 7th year working in PCC, and for this semester, I will be handling all the purposive communication or COM 101 courses. I will also handle one Philippine literature course, and that is for the 4th year DDM students, together with some arts appreciation or Hume 101 courses. Okay? And again, welcome to Pines City Colleges, and congratulations to most of you, by the way, for finishing your senior high school. I am so sorry though that we still have to do our classes online. It has been more than a year already that we have been implementing online classes through Google Classroom. CHED actually has approved all the programs of our college to have limited face-to-face classes, but because of the Delta variant, the limited face-to-face classes will mostly happen for 4th year or graduating students. As of now, there is still no chance, especially for your minor subjects, to go back to the old normal of conducting classes inside the classroom. So we still have to try our best to learn and study through online. Okay, so how do we do our classes during this new normal? First, there are words that you would have to remember. One is Google Classroom. As I've said earlier, Google Classroom is our main venue of delivering your lessons. And I'm sure you already know how to go to your Google Classroom. Just remember that you must use your PCC account in logging in to Gmail, so you would be successful in going or entering your Google Classroom. Take note that your modules, assignments, quizzes, and exams will be posted and will be done in Google Classroom. So never forget your username and password, or else you would have to contact the ICT department to help you retrieve your password in case you cannot remember it. Okay? Second word that you would have to note is PCC Student Portal. This is very important because this is where you can monitor your prelim, midterm, tentative final, and final grade. Do not also lose your access to your student portal for you to know if you have passed your respective grading periods. Okay? And speaking of grades, please know that we are following the 3 grading terms. We have prelim, midterm, and tentative final. Your final grade will be the combination of the 3 grading period divided by 3. Okay? Specifically, your prelim grade composes of 70% class standing and 30% final exam. So one big tip that I can give you for you to pass your enrolled courses is to do your very best already from the beginning for your prelim quizzes and assignments. Remember, that is already 70% of your prelim grade. For your midterm grade, class standing would be 60%, and midterm exam would be 40%. You must start preparing more for your exam during this grading term, most especially for your final exam. And lastly, your tentative final grade is already 50-50. So it is evenly distributed. 50% for class standing and 50% for your final exam. Okay? So that is for your grade. And by the way, we will be using a transmutation table for the computation of your grades. Later on, you will be forwarded a copy of this transmutation table, so you would be able to compute your score percentages on your own, and you would be able to compute your grade as well. Okay? And the third word that you would have to write down is asynchronous. So we will be having asynchronous online class. And what does this mean? This means that if I am online, you do not have to be online. And if you are online, I do not have to be online. You may work on your respective course requirements in your own convenience, but of course within a given time frame. However, you do not really have to follow rigidly the class schedule written in your enrollment form. But you would have to take note of your deadline of submission, especially because Google Classroom gives notifications for class requirements that are submitted or turned in late. I know that one difficult thing to do is to discipline ourselves, not to procrastinate, especially that our homes have a lot of distractions. However, we have no choice but to exercise proper time management for us to be able to accomplish our tasks well and, of course, on time. And I hope the meaning of asynchronous online class is clear for you. Okay? The fourth word that you would have to also remember is modular. What I will be posting in your Google Classroom are actually modules. Okay, yes, your modules will not be delivered as a hard copy. You are going to access them in your Google Classroom. You may print out your modules or you may read them directly through your screen. Okay? That is up to you. So what is the content of your modules? Your modules are divided into 3 major parts: your learning content, learning activity, and assessment. The learning content is very important because this contains the lecture of your instructor. The learning content may be in a written form or in a video form. The learning activity is a practice activity to see if you have understood your learning content. And the assessment part is where you would have your quizzes and assignments maybe. With some of the previous students that I have handled online during the previous semesters, one of the biggest mistakes they did is they went immediately to their learning activity and assessment. Okay? They did not read their learning content, or they did not watch their learning content. Of course, they got very low to low points because you would really have to understand your learning content before you can answer properly your learning activity and assessment. Okay? Simply put, the first thing you should do first is to read or watch your learning content, then proceed to doing your activity to be followed by your assessment. Please follow the process for the best result, if not a more successful module scores. Okay? Putting the words asynchronous and modular learning together, please take note of our general schedule, okay, which is applicable to all the courses I handle for this semester. Your modules will be posted every week on Wednesdays. You may attend to your module any day and any time of the week, so long as you meet the deadline, which is 11:59 p.m. Wednesday of the following week. This means that you have an entire week to attend to one module. And by the way, the first module would already be posted on August 25, 2021, which is this coming Wednesday. So please anticipate that. Okay? The 5th word or phrase, to be exact, that you would have to note is outcomes-based education, or simply known as OBE. This means that in every learning objective that we have, or in every learning content of your course, you would have to meet its goals. The intention of the learning content would have to reflect on your outputs, actions, and even words. Coupled with OBE is the 6th phrase, which is self-directed learning. When we say self-directed learning, you are also tasked to consult other learning materials aside from what was given to you, so that you would enhance more your learning of a certain topic. You may go to a library, you may read other learning materials, either online or from books, journals, newspapers, and others. In other words, do not just rely on what is provided by your instructors. Feel free to explore the different ways of making you understand better a certain topic. So, what does OBE and self-directed learning really imply to you as our learners? These phrases imply our seventh word or phrase, which is independent learning. Even before this pandemic, instructors try as much as possible to instill independent learning among their students. But now that we are still learning online, it is really high time to emphasize and practice independent learning. However, this does not mean that you cannot ask questions to your instructors. After you have exhausted all the avenues of trying to understand the lesson and still you cannot get what a certain topic is all about, then please do ask. In my part, you can just send a message through email or through Messenger. Okay? You can see them on your screen. Okay? If you want a faster reply, though, just please send a message through Messenger. Okay? So, let us recap the 7 words that you would have to take note, especially in undergoing the courses that I handle. Number 1 is Google Classroom. Second is PCC Student Portal. Third is Asynchronous. Fourth is Modular. Fifth is Outcomes-Based Education or OBE. Sixth is Self-Directed Learning. And lastly is Independent Learning. I hope the implications of these words are clear for you. But again, if you have any questions, just please send a message. Okay? Another thing that I would want to emphasize on this video are our class rules. First, please make sure that your name on your Google Classroom account is encoded properly. Input properly your first name and surname. Your records are arranged alphabetically in our PCC portal and in Google Classroom. However, some names do not follow the arrangement because you have probably encoded your first name and surname together, or you have encoded your surname first before your first name. Please double check your name because proper alphabetical arrangement of the name of our students would greatly help us in tracking your records faster and easier. One more thing with your Google Classroom account is your picture. Please put a picture in your account and make it professional. Okay? Google Classroom is not just like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, where you can post your pabebe pictures. Make your Google Classroom profile picture professional. Okay? You may use your picture on your PCC ID as your Google Classroom. Okay? That would be better. Okay? And the second class rule that I would want to emphasize among my student is EOP. What does EOP mean? EOP stands for English Only Policy. This means that when you are going to send a message, it should be in straight English. Queries must be, sorry for the noise, queries must be sent in English, and it should follow formal discourse like complete sentence, proper capitalizations, and punctuations. If you will not practice EOP in sending your messages, then I would not reply to your message. Again, I would not reply to your message. So please take this time to practice communicating in English, even if it is just through sending a written message. Third rule in our class is that you have to pass your learning activities, assessment, and exam on time. Late submission may entail minus points or even 0 score. Fourth rule is for you to avoid plagiarism. Okay? Answers to questions, especially essays, must be original. Take note that Google Classroom has plagiarism check. And if your output is plagiarized, that would mean 0 score. Is that clear? Yeah, okay. Fifth rule is to always use your own PCC account in accomplishing or submitting your academic tasks. Using somebody else's account will make your submitted output invalid. And take note as well of our sixth rule, which is cheating will automatically lead to 0 score on the relevant quiz or exam. Please do your activities and assessments independently unless instructed otherwise. According actually to Socrates, he said that to find yourself, think for yourself. Okay? And our 7th class rule is if you have any concerns, kindly consult your instructors directly before consulting anybody. Please feel free to clarify things and to impart your concerns to the appropriate person and appropriate venue. Posting your rants on social media will not help at all in addressing your concern. What happens most of the time is most people are already aware of your concern, except for the proper person who can really help you address the issue or concern. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, our last but not the least class rule is you are not allowed to reproduce your modules without your instructor's approval. The modules are exclusively for your own learning. You may only print them for your own personal use. Okay? So, those are our vocabulary review and class rules. Do you have any questions or maybe violent reactions? Are the things I mentioned clear? Okay, again, just send me a message if you have a question or if something is not clear. Feel free as well to tell me if you have some suggestions for us to have an easier online learning. I will do my best to see what I can do so we can cater to your suggestion or recommendation if it is plausible. Okay? So that's it for this video. Please stay safe and healthy. Okay? Bye. See ya.